Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? I hope all is well with you. Today, we are going to be looking at steaming a breadfruit. Yes, steaming. Most persons are used to roasting breadfruit and they don't know about steaming it. So, we're going to look at the procedure today. This is a breadfruit that was already steamed, so I did not get to show you from beginning, but I'm going to walk you through the process. So first, you're going to get a pot that is big enough to hold the breadfruit in, right? So this pot is deep and it's big enough to hold the breadfruit in, right? So what I do is I wash my breadfruit thoroughly first. So after I've washed the breadfruit thoroughly, this one is a little bit battered, right? You cut out the stem. So you get a knife and you cut out the stem of the breadfruit. So I'm cutting out the stem. You cut out the stem. See, the stem is out. Then now you get the pot, right? And you're going to pour water in. So this is our water. So you pour the water in, right? And you're putting in about halfway in the pot. Not filling the pot with water. You're putting enough not to immerse the breadfruit, but you're putting enough for it to steam. And then you get your salt, right? And you add your salt. You had about a spoon, depending on the amount of water that is there in the pot. So this is about a spoon of salt right there. So you just put it in there, right? A teaspoon of salt. And you put it in the water. Then after you have put it in, you place the breadfruit in, right? You place the breadfruit in and you notice, look at the breadfruit, it's not covered. The water didn't cover it. It's halfway, right? So that's enough to steam the breadfruit. All right? So you're not covering the breadfruit with water. You're putting enough in to steam, to allow it to steam. Then you cover your pot and you take it and you put it on your stove, right? And you light it and you leave it to steam. Now, when it is finished, when it is finished, the skin changes, right? And by this time, most of the water would dry out.
So the color of the breadfruit changes.
So yes, the color of the breadfruit changes, the skin changes. So this was once green, because as I told you before, this is already steamed. So the skin was green, so you notice the color has changed and it's very thin. Look at it. It's peeling away, right? So this is how you know that it is steamed, it is ready, right? And most time it's when the water is dried out of the pot, So the color changes and most of the water is gone out of the pot.
And
so
you make your X just like when you roast it.
Right.
On your wood fire.
So that the steam can pass through it. Okay. And so you empty the residue of water that is there. And then now you put your breadfruit to cool and it is ready to be peeled, right? So you just peel your breadfruit. So it is basically, like the roasted breadfruit when you're finished with it. I'm just getting some hand towel. All right. So you drain the residue of water from the pot and you peel when it's cool, right? So like I said, this breadfruit is a little battered, so I'm cutting off the battered part of it and it is already steamed.
So how long should it be steamed for? About 45 minutes to an hour, or you just use your judgment?
Well, I didn't time it. I just let it stay there until the skin color of the breadfruit changes, until the water is basically dried out of the pot, because it depends on the size of the breadfruit, right? Because sometimes, you have very big breadfruit, you understand? So I didn't time it. I just look at the color, the skin color. It changes, and the water, when the water dries from the pot, then I know. Sometimes I have to add depending on the size and how ripe the breadfruit is. So I'd add to it. But the color of the breadfruit, it changes.
Wow. Look at the texture, friends. Look at the texture. See? Just as if it was roasted on wood fire. Yes.
And you don't go too deep.
Yes. My wife is the expert at doing this, so I really appreciate her in the kitchen. Yes. So look at the skin.
Yes, the skin gets thin and peels away. So you can basically peel. You don't have to peel it, you can actually rub it off. But I'm peeling it in the interest of
the
time.
skin.
The skin is cooked, as you can basically see.
That's the skin of the
steam. So it's the steam that, right, cooks the breadfruit.
So different method, same result.
Yes.
Amen.
This is not smoked. It's different in the sense that when it's roasted, it's smoked. You're having smoked breadfruit because you remember you have it on the fire. So it's roasted, right? But this now is free from smoke.
Yeah.
It is the steam that cooks it.
But the skin is thick though, so the smoke won't affect it if you roast it. It's still good to eat, but this is a different method you can try and you'll get the same result. Yes, friends, country living is such a blessing. Alright, so there you can see Helena is peeling off. Almost done. And when she slices it up, you're going to see how beautiful it looks. She actually did some pumpkin stew to go along with this. So as soon as it is sliced up and shared, we will show you.
Okay, friends, so now we have the finished product. So see, I've peeled my breadfruit and I've sliced it. Okay, and look at it. It's looking just like how the breadfruit would look when it's roasted. And so it is served. And this is breadfruit now with pear, avocado, and this is also stew pumpkin stew. All right, so you can serve it with ackee, you can serve it with callaloo, any protein of your choice. Okay, you can serve it with. Also, just to show you here, we have a steamed pudding. So this pudding was steamed. How it was done, we can show you on our next video. Okay, so you can stay tuned for that. Look out for that. All right, and we have our pear over here. So the steamed pudding will be served because remember, our first meal, we should eat like a king.
Oh, yes.
All right.
I can't wait to dig in.
This will be served with breakfast. Steam, cornmeal and oats with peanuts. That's all that's in the ingredient for this menu. Thank you for watching.
Yes, and if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, a like, comment, and share. Friends, I've got to go because I have all this delicious food to enjoy.